behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover 'em first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got another great interview coming up for you in just a moment. But don't forget about that subscribe button and that bell, and hit them both. And anytime a new episode comes your way, you'll be notified. And check out the comments on the comment section. Leave one if you'd like. And also, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/Paul Mash TV. And feel free to send us an inbox or follow us or comment on the things you see there. And we also have email, of course. It's paulmashtv, all one word, at gmail.com. And send us an email if you're a band or a solo artist that wants to be on the show, and we'll show you how to do that. Or if you're just simply a fan, we'll have fan mail as well, so send us a fan letter, we'll get back to you. And all this is going to be recapped at the closing credits at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. From Los Angeles, California today, we have Gregg Wietstock, another talented artist, and I think you're going to agree. And we'll get to that in just a second because it starts right now. Okay, everybody, it's interview time as promised. And with us from Los Angeles, California, we have Gregg Wietstock with us today. Thanks for joining us, Gregg.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We're glad to have you here today. Tell everybody how it all started for you as far as being an artist, because, you know, everyone has their own way of being an artist. So we'd love to hear your story.
Gee, I guess I was born an artist. It took me a long time to figure that out, but you know, I tried everything else. And you know, in life, you know, it works the best when your things are harmonious, and I'm not just talking about music harmony. I'm talking about just feeling right, you know, and everything. But when I was, you know, before I ever started grade school, my mother, she was in the church choir, and she was quite a singer. She sang alto in the church choir, and you could hear her belting it out, you know, over all the other ladies that were in the choir. It used to be a little embarrassing to me that I could hear my mother over everybody, but she was really good. But she thought it was a good idea to get her kids. I have two siblings, two brothers and one sister, three siblings, to give us a little bit of a taste in music. So we had a little bit of knowledge in it. She kind of tried to give us a well-rounded, not just a perception of whatever, you know, we might seem to gravitate towards. And we couldn't afford a piano in the house, so she rented an accordion, and she had me and my two brothers in accordion lessons. And I wasn't really too thrilled about it, but you know, it gave me a little foundation in music at a very young age, where I was doing the oom papa, do 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 do, you know, kind of stuff. And you know, just a little tiny guy. And then, you know, nothing really became of it. And I really was a drawer. I used to draw and paint and do things like that and create things out of nothing. That was really what I really liked to do. And people would always comment on my ability to draw images. So that was kind of where I was going when I was really young. And then when I was in about the middle school age, some of the neighborhood kids wanted to start a band, and we all chose what instrument we wanted to play. And I saved up some money and I bought a bass guitar. I wanted to be the bass player. And I think I chose bass because when I was a little kid, I was listening to one of my neighbors playing some music, and they were playing Creedence, and they played Down on the Corner. And that song has a very recognizable bass line. Down, 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 down. don't. Well, I loved that and the vibration and the feeling. So when it came time to choose an instrument, I just said bass. That was right away. No hemming and hawing about it. I never played a bass before, and I selected that instrument. So I started doing that, and then came along all the things that come along with being in a band and a musician, like a girlfriend. And that was pretty thrilling. But, also all the other little things, especially back in the 70s. Yep, I'm that old. We used to, get involved in all the extracurricular substances that let's just say, how musicians that are famous, they go and they tear up hotel rooms and everything like that. And it's kind of was a big thing back in the 70s and 80s with like Motley Crue and all that stuff. Well, they usually waited until they were famous before they started tearing up hotel rooms and stuff. Well, let's just say I started doing it before I was famous. And that kind of put a damper on my just getting along with everybody. And my band quickly replaced me with another bass player, and I became the roadie, but I was still around. But I've been playing music my whole life, and there was a period where I just kind of got into being a responsible adult because the people that were giving me advice, elders would be saying, Gregg, you might want to have a serious occupation, because they didn't really consider being a musician to be a very serious thing. And so I started working in construction, and didn't do the college route, but I started working in construction. And that kind of took a priority, but I was still doing music the whole time. And I used to play with a lot of people around town. And I've been in LA my whole life. So I played at bars and parties and, always played the bass. And I was always more of a sidekick for somebody, I was the bass player. So it's pretty typical, you're not the guy up front. I wasn't like Sting or somebody like that plays the bass and also is the front man. I was always a supportive role for other people, and that was okay. But I also wrote a lot of songs, and I have still, a couple of boxes full of papers that I've jotted down little song ideas and stuff over the years, and there's so many of them in that box that there's no way probably that I could do them in my life, especially at the cost of producing stuff. If I had a record label or something that took interest and bankrolled that, I could possibly do it. But I'm doing it on my own. But what happened was, I've been doing this for a long time, and in 2015. A lot of things were changing. One thing that changed was in 2006, I stopped drinking alcohol because that had become a problem, and I got sober and I changed my life, and I started gravitating towards music and out of what was not really what I was feeling like I was supposed to be doing. It was kind of like a soul searching thing. And I started getting into my music, and it was the weirdest thing because right around 2015, I had been studying music for a few years because I wanted to get more proficient at it, because I didn't feel like I had really given the music my what it deserved, So I needed to start studying. I studied for 3 years with a great bass player that I admired a lot, and he taught me a lot of theory. Even though I took music theory in high school, it was different. I never applied it to my instrument, but now I studied with somebody that I admired, and we worked at it together for several years. And and I ran into somebody that needed a bass player for a band, and it was a Christian rock band. And I'm not against Christian music, but it wasn't really something that I was looking for. I was just a rock and roll kind of guy, and but they needed some help, so I said, okay, I'll do it. So I joined up with them. I was actually just temporarily covering for their bass player who injured himself. He injured his hand, and he wasn't able to do a couple of these gigs that they had lined up, and I ended up being the bass player in that band. And that band is 3 Days in the Grave, and I'm currently playing with them now. And those guys are great. You know, we're good friends, and I've been with them for 7 years now. And when in 2015, I started playing with them. 2017, the Robert Tyler, the lead singer and guitar player in the band, got a letter from the Josie Music Awards, and we didn't know who that was. And he said, we've been nominated for something. Well, apparently somebody had nominated us for something. So it was Entertainer of the Year as a band, as a rock band, and something else. In 2017, they held it at the Nissan Stadium in Nashville. And we flew to Nashville for that. And then when I was in Nashville and meeting all the people that were there, all the independent artists, I had never known of such a thing. And I had pretty much given up on the idea of me like doing music for like, you know, what I'm doing now, like recording music, putting it on the internet. I mean, I hardly even knew anything about the internet. But when I was there and meeting these independent artists, I said, you know what? This is really cool. And there was a lady there, and I don't even remember who she was or anything, and I wish I did. And maybe somebody that's listening could tell me who that was. That might have been at that 2000 and no, you know what? It was at the 2018. We went to that one also. The 2018 Josie Music Awards was held at the theater in the Dolly Parton theme park there in Tennessee, in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And Dollywood, the theater there, there was a lady that went up to accept an award, and she was telling giving her acceptance speech, and she said that her and her friend, her good friend, wrote this song together. Her good friend passed away, but she went ahead and completed the song, and now she's up there receiving an award for it. And I'm listening to this great story, and the last thing she said, so I guess the moral of the story is don't die with your song still in you. And I heard that before. I think it was from Wayne Dyer. But it didn't really touch me like that. But when I was sitting in that award show with all this energy from all these independent musicians that were achieving things that I had never even thought possible, and doing things that I didn't think was something I could really do, she said, don't die with your song still in you. And I'm sitting here with a box full of songs that I wrote, you know, and they're coming up all the time, you know, in my head. And she said that, and I was like, yeah, don't die with my song. I got songs in me. I don't want to die with my songs in me. So right away, got back from that, started putting stuff together. What happened was I made one song. It's called Elizabeth, and it's on my YouTube channel. It's the first song that I actually sat down, penned out, got the lyrics together, got musicians together, recorded it in the studio, and put it on the internet, all the internet platforms for distribution. Never did that before. But even our band didn't do that. We sent songs out to internet. Robert sent songs out to internet radio, but we didn't have songs on distribution. And since then, I think they've brought some rules in on who can be nominated for what, and you have to have a little bit more level of such and such to be qualified for these awards. But that wasn't really the case when we were originally nominated, so we kind of snuck in the back door on that. But God has funny ways of doing things. So apparently he wanted me to do some music. So anyway, to make a long story not anywhere near as long as I just made that, that's pretty much it.
Well, that's quite a career you've had, and I'm glad you're still doing what you're doing. Hopefully you'll be around for a while doing some more.
Yeah, I'm just starting out, to tell you the truth. I'm only 62. Give me time. Geez, I'm working on it.
I know you mentioned CCR. Did you have any other influences growing up that helped motivate you?
Yes, I did. My first album, I mentioned that our neighborhood kids in the neighborhood started a little band, and my first album I ever bought was a Deep Purple Machine Head,
Mm-hmm.
and me and my friend across the street from me that ended up being the guitar player in our band, we'd sat there in his bedroom and listened to Deep Purple Machine Head over and over and over and over and over again, all day, every day, until our parents said, stop. And of course, along with that, I had the Pink Floyd album with the triangle and the prism, going through it, Dark Side of the Moon.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I had Black Sabbath. What was that album? I still have all my records, by the way. Black Sabbath, with Paranoid on it, and Iron Man and all that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And Led Zeppelin. I have Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, 4, Presence, Houses of the Holy, the one with all the little things you can move around, Physical Graffiti. I love Led Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? Hendrix. I love Jimi Hendrix. He was phenomenal. One of the bands that really, it really inspired me a lot, and even comes before all those bands I just mentioned, is Steppenwolf.
Uh-huh.
Steppenwolf had some great songs, and like their big hit was Born to Be Wild, but they had some other songs that were just really great. And that heavy rock and roll metal, before it's old school metal. It's before the term metal came out.
Mm-hmm.
These are the originators of metal. These are my heroes, man.
Mm-hmm.
Steppenwolf, Iron Butterfly. These guys go way back, man. Everybody was looking at these guys and going, wow. And Hendrix was one of them. And it was at Cream, they were a little soft, but I liked them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, a lot of the members from Cream ended up being my heroes, like Jimmy Page and stuff like that.
Yeah, there were a lot of bands for sure, especially back then. You mentioned some good ones, even Deep Purple and
yeah, Deep Purple was really my favorite when that Machine Head album came out. and I used to blast Highway Star. My friend had a pretty hot roddy kind of.
Okay, well, where can we find your music? I'm sure there's a lot of people there that want to download your music or following on all social media. I mean, I know you got stuff on YouTube too, but let us know.
Well, I'm really easy to find if you spell my name properly. The hard part is going to be spelling my name properly. But if you remember the old rhyme from school, I don't know if some of these people, younger people, had this, but they had a little thing in English class that said I before E except after C, or when sounding like A is a neighboring way. I before E except after C. So my name is Wiet, Wietstock. And the first name has two G's at the end.
Mm-hmm.
If you type that in right, I'll pop up on your screen because I'm the only one in the United States. There may be one in Germany. I don't know. But my last name is popular in Germany, but it's not very popular here in the United States. There's only a few of us.
Okay, and you're on all social media sites as
Yeah,
well,
if you get my name typed in, it's going to pop up and all my songs will pop
and all
up.
your streaming media as well.
And that's my name on Facebook. I have Gregg Wietstock Music on Facebook. I have 3 Days in the Grave bassist Gregg Wietstock. You can type in 3 Days in the Grave with a 3, with the number 3, not spelled out THREE, but the number 3 Days in the Grave. And you can type that in, and I'm the bass player in that, and you can kind of find me there.
Yeah.
But I've done my own music because I was inspired by the award shows that I've started to experience, and I started doing my own music because I have it in me. So, like I was telling you in my little story there, big story, long story. Sorry if I went too long there, but
Oh, that's all right. Well, I'm sure everybody will be happy to get those music, as I said, on like Spotify and so forth, and on all social media sites. So check them out there. And we're just getting ready to play your song in a minute. I do believe it's called 2020 Christmas Star. And I understand you recorded this about a couple of years ago during the whole COVID thing, but it never got released. But tell us a little bit about the story about that as well.
Well, in 2020, when that star came out, if you remember, there was a phenomena that occurred where three stars combined and made what they were saying was the same star that guided the shepherds and wise men to Jesus's birth. And this was at Christmas during COVID lockdown, when we're not allowed to go see our family and do the things we normally do, and stores are closed and people aren't allowed to go do things. This star comes out. How bizarre is that this is happening during this time? And I was just really tripping on that, and I was really getting inspired. And that song just kind of came up, automatically. And I picked up my guitar. I have this guitar that's right behind me here. I don't know if you can see it, but this is the guitar that I write my songs with. And I just picked it up and I started creating this song about this occurrence with this star, and that it just so happens to be during this time that we're not allowed to have Christmas. And this star appears every 800 years. I'm just like, what? Why is this happening now? So you can hear this in the lyrics. So I wrote the song, but it was at Christmas already. So I didn't have time to record it. It was already Christmas. So after Christmas, I said, you know what? I'm going to get this song all recorded. So in 2021 Christmas, I'm going to be able to not put it out there. Well, I procrastinated and I finally got it out, but it was almost 2021 Christmas already. And all I was able to get down was me playing the acoustic guitar and singing. And I got my sound engineer, fantastic sound engineer, Keith Lynch. If anybody's in Los Angeles, look him up. He is the best. Anyway, just listen to my music. If you don't like my music, you'll still like his engineering. It's fabulous. Anyway, KeithLynch.com. Very simple. Keith, E before I on Keith's name. Anyway, the song. So this year, I said, you know what? Well, after 2021, I said, you know what I'm going to do? Every year, I'm going to add something to this song, and I'm going to put it out there. It's kind of like my gift, my holiday Christmas gift to my family, my friends, my fans, to everybody. From me to you. If you want it for free, I'll send it to you for free. I don't care. This is my gift to everyone.
Okay.
It's, if you get a hold of me and you want it, I'll send you the MP3 file. But it's this year. I went to see Paul Anka, and I wanted to talk to his violinist. She's fabulous. And I said, I got up to her and I said hi to her, and we talked. I introduced myself and we talked. I already knew about her on Facebook, and I was already a fan on her page, but I wanted to talk to her about playing on my song, adding a track to my song. So she agreed to do it. The problem was she's always on tour and always traveling around, but I managed to get her when she was here in LA, and she recorded at Keith Lynch's studio the track, the violin track on that song. We added it, and it just brought the song up to another level. And I also have some video clips that I took while she was recording in the studio that I added to the YouTube video from last year, which was kind of it was okay, but it was a little boring. And then I added her, so that spiced it up a little bit. And her violin is fabulous, and she's just incredible. She's also in a band. Her own project is Quartet 405, named after the 405 freeway here in LA that she spends a lot of time on. Quartet 405. It's her and three other ladies that play stringed instruments, and they do covers of all these popular and famous songs with strings. And it's really awesome. They do rock songs, everything. She plays in Hollywood. She plays at the Whiskey. I've seen her do the that famous Devil Goes to Georgia thing with the fiddles. I saw her play that thing just note for note. Killed it, you know. She's just unbelievable. She's such a talent. And I got blessed to have her actually come to the studio and put that down for me. So, you know, this is a gift. It's a gift to me. It's a gift to you. It's a gift to everybody. 2020 Christmas star, a gift from God, that star that came out at that time. Wow. It's mind-boggling. And I wrote the song about that. It's a very special song to me. And, you know, the popularity seems to be pretty good, because I'm going to go log on to a radio program this evening in a few hours from now, where I was told it's number 19 on their top 20.
Oh.
Thank you. So I want to see. I want to just log in, and hopefully I'll catch it before number 19 plays. But I'm going to go into the chat room, and am I allowed to say what station it's on?
If you want to, that's fine.
It's on Black Dog Indie Country Radio.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So Black Dog, if you Google it, you'll find it. It's on Spreaker. I'm going to be in the chat later on today.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I was going to say that is a great song. We're about to play that in just a minute, but I think we're about running out of time, so we're going to go right to it. And I want to thank you so much, Gregg Wietstock, for being on the show. Come back again sometime. I'd love to have you.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
I appreciate this.
Yeah, no problem. And here it is, 2020 Christmas Star by Gregg Wietstock, and it starts right now.
Sitting by the fire, the lights are glowing brighter than they ever have before. We can't do what we used to do, and things are all so different. But a child was born, and the world was changed forevermore. Jesus was born on that day. So Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and all your family too. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and all your family too. Merry Christmas. A star is going to shine tonight, a star we haven't seen for hundreds of years. Why is this all happening, and why have so many been driven to tears? Do we need to be reminded that a child was born and the world was changed forevermore? Jesus was born on that day. So Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and all your family too. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and all your family too. Merry Christmas to you and all your family too. Merry Christmas. Jesus was born on that day. So Merry Christmas,